Team India has clinched the Asia Cup title for a record-extending 9th time after defeating Pakistan for the 3rd time in the tournament. But once again, there was a desperate attempt from Pakistan to try and steal the spotlight. And as usual, it backfired majorly. India and Pakistan faced each other for the 3rd time in the tournament. The result was the same, an Indian victory. But this time, Pakistan were able to put up a fight in a way. The game turned on its head by one of India's young stars, Tilak Varma, producing the best innings of his life to take India to a 5-wicket victory. The 22-year-old scored an unbeaten 69, giving the perfect response to Pakistan's pre-match chest thumping. But it wasn't Tilak Varma who hit the winning runs. It was Rinku Singh who did the honours, hitting the only ball he faced during the tournament for a boundary. And it seems like his finishing touch was written in the stars. Before the tournament started, Rinku had written the words, "Win, run," on a card. And his wish was fulfilled in the most thrilling fashion. It was a brilliant win for India, one that cemented the team's status as the undisputed best side in Asia. It was also the perfect reply to the Pakistan Cricket Board and its players who had been attempting to mock the Indians with wild gestures and baseless claims in reference to Operation Sindoor. But the final result was once again an Indian victory, as was pointed out by the Indian Prime Minister immediately after the match. Prime Minister Modi wrote, and I'm quoting, "Operation Sindoor on the games field, outcome is the same, India wins." Pakistan is not known to take defeats too well, be it in sport or on the battlefield. And once again, the behavior of the PCB chief was a disgrace to the sport. India had made it clear that the team would not take the trophy from Naqvi, who is not only the chief but also the interior minister of Pakistan. It was something that everyone saw coming, except Naqvi himself, it seems, who let his ego get the better of him and ultimately got majorly embarrassed. Naqvi refused to let any other dignitary hand the trophy to India. Not just that, he left with the trophy just to ensure that India did not get their hands on it.
I think this is one thing which I have never seen since I started playing cricket, since I started following cricket, that a champion team is denied to get a trophy. I mean, that to a hard-earned one. It's not like आसानी से हो गया सब, but it was a hard-earned tournament. We were here since 4th, played a game today, 2 back-to-back good games in 2 days. I feel we deserved it.
Despite the absence of the trophy, India celebrated their much-deserved victory in a grand manner, a fitting response to another petty stunt by Pakistan. A new trend seems to be emerging that perhaps carries significant impact as far as the global race for innovation is concerned. Many of America's brightest minds are leaving the country, and the exodus appears to be fueling China's scientific rise. Scientists once working in the US are now packing up their labs and moving to China. According to a CNN report, at least 85 researchers have left American institutions since early last year to join universities and labs in China full-time, with more than half making the switch this year alone. Experts are warning that this is not a temporary trend, in fact. Rather, according to them, it is expected to further accelerate, especially as the US funding for research reduces and restrictions on foreign talent tighten. While on the contrary, Beijing is pouring billions into building a science and technology powerhouse. These developments leading to several crucial questions. Can the United States still compete for global talent? And how exactly will this shift impact the race to dominate artificial intelligence, quantum computing, semiconductors, biotechnology, even advanced military technology? Experts are saying that the Trump administration's recent policies are intensifying the exodus of scientists and researchers. Washington is pressing for cuts to research budgets, increasing oversight of university labs, raising the cost of H-1B visas, using federal grants as leverage over institutions. And the uncertainty is reportedly rattling scientists across America. Many researchers, particularly those with ties to China, are saying they no longer feel secure about their future in the US. And China is working deliberately to attract more talent. The official newspaper of the Central Committee of the Chinese Communist Party, in a recent column describing China as a quote-unquote safe harbor for scholars, providing them with the platform to excel, quote-unquote. And Chinese universities are quietly approaching US-based researchers with offers, while others are openly advertising for them. Recently, financial commitment by both countries also reflecting this major push. In recent years, investment by China and the US with regard to research and development almost similar. In fact, the Chinese president last year said China must become self-reliant in science and technology and pledged to achieve that goal by 2035. And just last month, Chinese officials rolled out a new K visa designed to attract young scientists and innovators from overseas. With America's best minds in a way leaving and China's labs gaining, the balance of power in science and technology is perhaps shifting faster than Washington expected. Because, say it or not, a country's strength depends not only on its armies and factories, but also on its science and research. Let's now also talk about the latest in the Russia-Ukraine war and Europe's role in it. Despite the extensive sanctions and support for Ukraine, European countries continue to import significant amounts of Russian oil and gas. So Europe is effectively funding Moscow's military operations. According to the Center for Research on Energy and Clean Air, EU nations still pay nearly €1 billion monthly for Russian energy. When Russia invaded Ukraine in early 2022, Europe imported roughly 25 million tons of Russian fossil fuels monthly. Since then, EU imports have dropped by about 90%, but ongoing purchases, primarily natural gas, totaling €965 million in August 2025 and over €16.8 billion last year alone. Natural gas forms the largest share of EU imports from Russia. France, Belgium, Spain, Slovakia and Hungary have been the top buyers over the past year, reportedly, with France alone importing 6.7 million tons. Long-term contracts and the need to protect consumers from rising energy costs also complicated those efforts to shift away from Russian supplies. Secondary trade routes further complicating the picture. Energy products often change hands multiple times before reaching the final consumers, making tracking difficult. And while the UK ceased direct Russian oil and gas imports in 2022, it continues to import refined products like jet fuel that were processed in India or Turkey. And this loophole, in a way, has led to an estimated €510 million contribution to Russia's economy since the war started. The UK's shipping and insurance sectors, meanwhile, playing a significant role in transporting Russian liquefied natural gas, with 76% of Russian LNG exports carried on UK-owned or insured vessels since the invasion. The reality of the situation is clear in a way. India facing pressure from the West for its purchase of Russian oil, but when Europe buys Russian energy, directly or indirectly, it is energy security. But when India does it, it's made to look like India is funding Russia's war in Ukraine. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.